welcome to Ecodhara. Today we are going to talk about sustainable menstruation again, especially about the cloth pads or reusable menstrual pads. My experience of menstrual pads or cloth pads is limited. That is, I use cloth pads along with menstrual cup almost all the time. Cloth pads have been my saviors in case the cup gets full and starts leaking in the office or in middle of the meeting, let's say. Or it also helps me to have a sound sleep during night, even though without worrying about my cup getting full in the middle of the night. There are many cupsters who actually use cloth pads on the third, fourth or fifth day, that is low flow days of their menstrual cycle, and there are two reasons. One is ease of use and second is level of comfort that you get with the cloth pads. Owing to my limited experience of 3 years of using cloth pads, I have my friend who will tell you about her experience of using cloth pads. Let's see what she says.
Hi all, I'm glad to share my menstruation practices with you all. Before I start, I would say I am no expert in the subject. However, I would like to share my own experience of using cloth pads throughout these years. So since the day I started menstruating, my mom has taught me how to use these cloth pads. So for my third and fourth day onwards, I completely rely on cloth pads that she taught me. Something that I'm using right now, something like this, the ones that we make for the kids that we call cloth napkins or langots, something similar. So I have learned, or rather had the practice of using these. I sleep over them, I practice my yoga with this, I walk, I run, I'm comfortable using these. I have seen my mom have never relied on non-biodegradable pads and throughout her menstrual life cycle, right? So if I give you a statistics from my experience of menstruating for over 16 years now, I would have easily saved 2000 plus non-biodegradable sanitary napkins from ending up in the landfill.
Like Rashmi said, we have been using basic cotton cloths for centuries. Like all the older generations have been using it and they never faced any problem. Only when periods and menstrual cycle started getting stigma associated with, and we started becoming uncomfortable and shy talking about menstrual cycle, and the houses became smaller, we could not dry our cloth outside in the open air. That's when all the problems started, and that's when we got some easy peasy solution, that is use and throw pads or disposable pads. One thing that I want to tell you is, when you throw something away, there is no away. Whatever you throw will come back to you in some or the other form, because that's what nature knows. There is nothing throwing away in the nature. So in this video, I am going to give you some information about cloth pads. That is, what is a cloth pad, how to use and clean a cloth pad, what are the types of cloth pads, and then I'll give you some tips and tricks as usual and some recommendations based on my personal experience and others' experience as well. So let's get started. First point, what is a cloth pad? First and foremost, there is nothing wrong with using a basic cotton cloth if you are using it properly and also taking care of it properly. If you are comfortable with it, please go ahead and use it. Now let's understand what is a cloth pad. So cloth pad is a menstrual product which can be inserted inside your panty, and during periods it will soak up all the menstrual blood flow. Cloth pads generally have the same capacity as that of disposable pads, that is 5 to 6 ml of blood it can soak, and then you need to change it. Once full, you start getting a wet kind of feeling, after which you need to change into another pad or use another cotton cloth, and the one that is soiled can be washed and dried properly, and it is ready to use again. One cloth pad can be used up to 3 to 4 years if maintained properly. My cloth pads I am using for almost 3 years now, and I think they can go 1 year pretty well. Now let's understand the types of cloth pads. The first type is a cotton cloth which you can fold and keep inside a liner which holds it in place. This liner can be fixed to a panty with a press button generally. When full, you can remove and insert another cloth inside the same liner and wash and dry the soiled one. The liner prevents leaking of blood into your clothes. The second type is a panty liner with a bunch of pads. Similar to first type, you can remove one and insert another pad, and then same panty liner will work. The difference is in this case it's a pad which is thicker than a cloth generally, and you don't need to fold it because already the pad has layers. The third type is a cloth pad that itself can be buckled and can be replaced with another pad when it needs to be changed. There is no liner that comes along with it, and it can be replaced with another pad when it needs to be changed. This may or may not have protection against leaking. That varies from brand to brand. The fourth, I know it's a separate type, but I'm including here in pads because lack of my experience or knowledge on this particular type. These are period panties. Period panties are a different type of panties to be worn during periods, and they have an extra padding to absorb all the menstrual flow. Once soiled, you can simply change into another panty and you're done. I have seen so many people in love with these panties on internet, but I have never used or seen one personally. That's all for this video. Till next time. Bye bye.